Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to a very special Labour of Love 2 UB Zoomy. How are we all doing? How you doing, Jimmy?
Yeah, good. You do say it's very special every week, though. Do you know that?
Yeah, but do you know what?
I think this first time you've said it's going to be a bit special this week.
Yeah, but I mean it this time.
It's a Labour of Love 2, is it?
Yeah.
Martin, hello.
How come we had to sing our own song then playing?
Yes, that's just to entice the crowds.
Oh, I see. Hello, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, it's not on there.
Robin, you're muted.
No.
Said that 61 times as well.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
All right. That's exactly what I've got, Earl.
Yeah, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, Earl.
Cheers, Earl.
Cheers, Earl.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's a good one, Labour of Love 2. In fact, what we're going to do, we're going to play about half of the album because we're going to take a listen to the original versions. For those who don't know, the Labour of Love series is all about UB40 taking songs that they heard growing up and doing their version of them. So we'll hear. I'm sure Robin will have a lot to say on the originals, which
Being
is
old.
your cup of it's your cup of tea, and you're old, yeah. So yes, it's going to be.
Taking a piss or what?
Who, me? But I think it's one of those albums that we've talked before, haven't we, about you've got UB40 fans who like the political stuff and who like the Labour Love, but this has got to be one of those. It's not a crossover album in terms of lyrical content, but I think in terms of what people like, there's not many people that don't like this album. Do you know what I mean? It's a firm fan favourite, and hardcore fan, and occasional fan favourite as well. There's not a bad track on it.
It was the first album that we really sold in large numbers in America too.
Absolutely.
It was after the success of Red Red Wine, which was 5 years late. In '88 in America. The time was ripe for us to release Labour of Love 2. As it happened, we were working on Labour of Love 2 anyway. But the timing was perfect because we just had a #1 in America with Red Red Wine. So when we came with Labour of Love 2, it's I think it was the first one that sold 1 million copies in the States.
Yeah, we released a couple of singles up it that were top 5, I think, The Way You Do and Here I Am.
Here I Am, of course, yeah.
Well, they did better in the States as singles than I believe they did in the UK. Was that because everybody had bought the album in the UK, so nobody really went on to buy the single?
Well, I think it was also because both those songs were original American classics.
Yeah.
One was The Temptations and the other was Al Green. So Americans knew those as those songs, whereas maybe in the UK and Europe, they weren't so well known, whereas they were obviously classic hits from on the American charts.
Yeah. Would there have been an element of that, though, that people went out in their thousands in the UK? I mean, the album Labour of Love 2 went to #3. Then some of the songs, which are actually some of UB40's better known songs, actually hovered around the 30s and 40s in the charts here. And I can't understand why that happened, because in the late 80s, early 90s, you were at the peak of your careers, really.
Different market, it's a completely different market. They work by their own rules in America. And we'd already had lots and lots of hits in England by then, do you know what I mean? And I think we were, we had bigger hits probably from Labour of Love 1 and before, 1 in 10, and, tracks like that. Food for Thought, they were all like top 5 tracks. So,
I think Kingston Town did all right in the UK. That was certainly the top. What was it, #4?
#4, yeah, I believe.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But
it should have been a #1, really. You got
it was a #1 in Holland, and I believe it was #1 in France as well.
Yeah.
Great video as well.
Sorry.
Great video, Kingston Town.
Yeah,
the Windrush
one.
My favourite video we've ever done. I think it's one of the few videos where we're actually saying something quite profound.
Yeah.
It's a really
speaking of saying something quite profound, the album starts with Small Axe. What was the inspiration behind putting that on as an intro? And Normski.
Doing it. Norman loved that song, so we got to sing it basically.
Yeah, massive Marley fan, and you know, we didn't really want to do Marley tunes because they were so well known anyway. You know, they were so successful anyway. But yeah, Norman always loved that tune, and he used to sing it. He used to sing that opening, you know, all the time. So we just thought it'd be a nice way of opening the album, you know, and getting Norman to sing.
Well, it's a different way of doing it. Sorry, Matt.
Well, for me as an outsider as well, at that time was the whole story around Labour Love 2, the band going away in Italy and recording it, and all those sort of footage of the studio times together. And then obviously once I was around the band, getting to hear all the stories that went on in Italy at that time. So that's like another bonus for Labour Love 2, is the whole creative process of it as well.
Yeah, did we do some in Hawaii?
No.
Like when we were working at the tunes, did we do like a session in Hawaii where we was working at the tunes like for Labour Love 2?
No, I think that we worked out the tunes in Italy and recorded them in the south of France.
No, we recorded them in Italy. We mixed them in the south of France.
Mixed down the album in the south of France. Yeah. But I don't remember. I remember when we were in Hawaii, but I don't think it was.
We done like a session where we had to like do. I don't know if it was one track or maybe a couple of tracks or something. Anyway, think about it. But yeah,
it's all blending in. It's all blending into one, isn't it? With all this beautiful wine and great food in south of France and Italy and stuff like that, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that must have been hard work.
All the Labour Love stuff, it was all about jamming it and like creating it and making it our own. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever was in fashion, like beat wise and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So it's all about jamming. Like, obviously these tunes that we've known all our lives. So it's like really lovely for us because, you know, we tried different beats and different things, different angles to come at it. So it was a labour of love, like both labour of love.
Yeah, and we weren't, we didn't have to convince anybody this time round, you know, because we'd had so much success with the original Labour of Love. What we got after that, before we did Labour of Love, everybody told us that we shouldn't be doing it. And then after we did it, everybody was going, when are you doing Volume 2? So, you know, all the record company just kept asking us, is it time for Volume 2 yet? You know, so it was much easier for us to do it. There was no pressure. We knew it was going to be well received. And of course, we had a list as long as our arm of songs, you know, that everybody knew and we wanted to cover. So, yeah, we were on the road. We weren't coming home. So we stayed, it was like a holiday in Italy. We had a few months in Italy where we rented we stayed in a farmhouse and rented the castle out.
Modernella.
Castello Modernella, yeah. And got it for a song. So we lived in this castle. You know, what a wonderful time we were having. Drinking,
sounds awful, yeah.
Drinking Chianti and jamming our favourite tunes, you know. It was...
not just Chianti.
Weekend, we'd have a rave up in it. Like,
every Saturday night.
Friday?
Oh, yeah.
Friday night, wasn't it?
In the end, we had all the locals come. And then, like, yeah, all the coppers come in the end. And, like, yeah, it was called the Confusion. Great time.
But it was brilliant. You know, we started off with a few people coming, and then by the end of it, the whole of the local village, which ended up anybody under the age of 20 was just 30.
They were coming from far and wide. It started with just the village, and then people were travelling from neighbouring villages and neighbouring towns, and they were coming from Arezzo and Siena and all sorts of places because they heard about the UB40 party.
Every week we did it.
In the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
And funnily enough, there were a couple of popes in the crypt of this castle. Which freaked me out a little bit. If you went down into the crypt,
dead ones, of course.
Well, yeah, they weren't alive yet, but they had their robes hanging up, looking a bit old. But yeah, there was a couple of popes in the crypt. What
were you saying, Martin?
I also heard it wasn't just copious amounts of red wine. There was a fair amount of grappa and consumed, wasn't there?
Grappa.
Oh, blimey, yes.
Yeah, I think. Certain members of the band discovered grappa
and slept outside.
And
right, yes.
passed out for the duration.
Came vagrants and vagabonds.
Yeah.
Wandering the country.
Street urchins.
Hey
How
guys,
about
well, listen, I'm
Labour
sure,
Love 5, Rob? How's that going?
All right.
How's Labour Love 5 coming along?
It's not. It's not.
Really
You're a
finished.
little devil, you are. You've always been a little devil, ain't you? Hey?
I've still got the list.
Well, I know you're talking about it, so
You're
So
not
provocative.
supposed to tell people this, you know.
right, a little bit of music then. A little bit of
Yeah, I
music.
think
Before
so.
we do that, we'll be cutting the stream momentarily, and all those people watching on Facebook, please get across to the UB40 app where you'll listen to all the stories about wine and Italy and France and drugs and rock and roll and reggae.
Can we just say that the app is free to download and people can watch this live free? Everyone seems to be under the impression that they have to pay to watch it if they get the app, and that just isn't true. I just wanted to make that point because people keep commenting on Facebook saying that they can't afford the app and stuff, where it's actually free. It only costs you if you want to watch the recorded versions or any of the the back catalogue and stuff
And even but still, there's loads of free content on there anyway. But I mean, and some of these are on there that we've the ones that we've pre-recorded and stuff like that. So it's 2-minute job, and it helps everybody out. So Robin's right.
Download it.
Let's do it. So then let's make a start on tonight's music, because even though we're only going to do half the album, we've still got a lot to cover because we're going to listen to the originals. So the first song on the album is Here I Am, or Here I Am Baby, or Here I Am Baby Come and Take Me, whatever you want to call it. But that was that known to you then as an Al Green or an Al Brown number?
Well, the original obviously was an Al Green song, and I've got the album with that track on it, and of course I knew it from the 60s, but the tune that we were covering, the version that we were covering, was the Al Brown version, which is a Jamaican version, a reggae version, done by Al Brown and the band Skin, Flesh and Bones, which probably not a lot of people know were the original Lloyd Parks house band. He called them Skin, Flesh and Bones, but they had people like Ansel Collins, Sly Dunbar before he teamed up with Robbie.
Right.
They were the original Revolutionaries, basically. They got renamed the Revolutionaries by Lloyd Parks, who was also a brilliant producer and bass player. So the band Skin, Flesh and Bones were really the forerunners of the Revolutionaries, and were major band in the 70s. But this was, early days, and this 73, I think this is, and probably one of the last hits that they had as Skin, Flesh and Bones before they became the Revolutionaries. But
awesome.
Al Brown sang with them.
Which we playing first?
And had a massive hit. We're playing the Al Brown version, as far as I know.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's spin it.
Put it
Evening,
back.
doggy.
Hello. Hello. Everybody.